Might as well get started. I'd like to bring this meeting of the Personnel and Human Services Committee to order Tuesday, September 15th at 4:01. Deanne, could you take a roll, please?
Lutz.
Here.
Tilly.
Here.
Duranczyk.
Here.
DeGick.
Here.
Kuna.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Krieger.
Yes.
Warren present.
Thank you. Before you have the minutes of 8:18. What is your pleasure?
Motion approved. Support.
Have a motion and support. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. At this time, we have public input. Those that want to address the committee shall step forward to the podium. And I know you're all rushing to do that, so. With that, we will move on to petitions and communications. Under item A, we have from the probate court administrator, the 2015-16 child care fund budget. What is your pleasure?
So moved. Support.
Okay, we have a motion and support. Would anybody like to speak to that? Or does anybody have any questions for?
Yeah, I'd like to hear a little bit. I know there's some changes, some additions to it.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to come here today. I actually have Judge Clyde here, who stands in on some of our probate court matters, as well as Randy Roberts here from the CASA program, from the Saginaw program.
Okay.
And, she also will be involved with the Bay County program if we're able to initiate that here in Bay County. But essentially, we have our child care fund budget, and it's mainly the same budget as last year, but we're asking for 2 additions this year. We're increasing the family foster care category of the budget by $100,000. So many of you remember I was here last month and I had asked for a budget amendment for last year's budget. So that brought that budget up to $825,000 for family foster care. So we additionally just want to continue on with that same amount of $825,000. That's what we reasonably expect that we will spend. And the family foster care category deals specifically with the care of our abused and neglected children. So as I said before, those are children who are in the foster care system or the court system by no choice of their own. The additional addition to the budget this year as well is a $27,000 increase in the in-home care category of the budget. Additionally, that money we would like to utilize to implement what's called a CASA program. And what CASA stands for is Court Appointed Special Advocates. And we have the director of the Saginaw program here as well. But really what it does is a really innovative program in that it follows a abuse and neglect case, a child in the abuse and neglect system from the beginning until the end. And that's really innovative because essentially one of the things that you see in social work or even social work administration or in the courts is when these children come through the system, they may have 3, 4, or 5 different caseworkers assigned to their case. Now, by having a CASA worker, they will work through the court and be appointed by the judge as a court officer to have a hand in recommendations in that child's treatment and that child's well-being while they're in the foster care system. So the benefits could really be twofold. What we see, most importantly, is it could improve the quality of life for these children. Getting them into a home and in some kind of structured placement instead of being continuously moved from house to house while in the foster care system. Secondly, it could be a cost-saving measure for us as well, because if the program goes the way that we hope that it would go, essentially, these children would spend less time in the foster care system. If they're spending less time in the foster care system, that means it frees up more of our money, so we don't have to utilize as much money for the placements of those children while they're in the foster care system, which allows us to use that money for other children who may need it. So the budget, as I said, the rest of it is mainly the same as last year's budget.
Commissioner Krieger.
So I know there must be a number of different grants that are used on this also, correct?
Yeah, there's the total cost of the program is to the tune of about $67,000. So we're going to kick in the $27,000. Now the money that we put in is reimbursable by the state at a 50% rate. So there are grants through the National CASA organization. So they will actually provide the bulk of the funds and then provide the service to us. The director of the program will be overseeing the operations in Saginaw County and Bay County. So basically, we're going to be paying for contractual services for these CASA workers, and there'll be 6 of them actually that will follow the cases, and they're going to be appointed to our most sensitive cases.
We've always said that with grant funding, if for some reason that grant were to disappear, whatever positions were funded would also, how are we gonna protect that, seeing that this is such an intricate part dealing with these kids?
Right, well, I think, so we're looking at it for this year. Right now, the grants that are appropriated for the CASA program are national, so it's a really large organization. So we'll be set for this year. Now, as we move into next year, that will be something that we can reevaluate, because the monies that we're paying are specifically to the actual program. So there's no grant monies with regard to the county involvement aside from the structure of the CASA program. But if we utilize the money that we have this year, that'll be good for covering our fiscal year. And then next year, when we go back to approve a new budget, then we'll look at it again and make sure that things are in place so we can continue on the CASA program if it's working as well.
So when you say this year, there's only a few months left of 2015.
I'm speaking of the state fiscal year. So, so when we go with our child care fund, we move at the state level. So because we work in collaboration with the state, so it begins October 1st.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Kuhn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Was it the institutional care line item that you came to us and we increased it by $100,000?
That was the family foster care. Yeah, that was for our abuse and neglect children.
Oh, that was, so does that reflect the additional?
Yeah, so the family foster care, that $100,000, that $825,000, that's going to be for this fiscal year, so that is reflected. So we built that into the budget for this year.
So it was $725 last year.
Yeah, it was $725.
Now, that's the program where we're taking kids that have to go into some very expensive treatment.
Yeah, that's why the cost goes up year by year. Because as I was saying before, we have some of these children are required to go into residential placements, and some of these residential placements, like you said, are very expensive. Some of them are as much as $5,000 a month, and really our most expensive is actually $15,000 a month. And I know it sounds extremely expensive, and I've paid and gone and called some of these facilities to try to find out why the cost is so much. And a lot of it just basically breaks down to the needs of these children. Many of them are low-functioning, tiny kids. Really, there's about a handful of kids that take up about 80% of our family foster care category of our budget because they fall on the autism spectrum. So we have to meet the needs of them. It's our responsibility to do so.
Okay. I just was wondering which line item it was, and you did adjust it by that $100,000. So, okay, thank you, sir.
Commissioner Begic.
Foster care, the Flint case is sort of front news right now. I guess the state does the training for the foster care parents. Do you do any supervision on the foster care parents, or is that all state?
Well, that's kind of the beauty of this CASA program, because what it would do is, essentially we have to rely on the state, and we have to rely on a lot of the workers that are involved in these cases, and many of them are very good. But what happens is that at times, these children may have various different workers involved in the case. So they may not know all the specifics of what's happening in the home or the dynamics of the child. So by having a CASA worker, that could give us more of a red flag as to if there are any kinds of issues or problems that we're seeing. It's going to be somebody who's appointed by the court and reporting to the court to the judges.
If I could just kind of piggyback on that, as far as review, these cases come before the judge. This is a rolling docket. Every 90 days, we're seeing the same cases. The CASA worker, the reason that is so critical is it is another pair of hands, it's another set of eyes. And it's somebody that advocates and works with the children. So whereas everybody has their agenda, if you will, or their little corner of the abuse and neglect world, whether it's the caseworker from DHS, it could be some of these kids are with Wellspring, some are with these special residential places, and you'll have workers that come to court, and they see us, we see them every 90 days. And there are volumes of reports that come in, you can't believe what comes in on one case. So there's a lot of oversight. DHS isn't operating without someone looking over their shoulder, nor are the CASA workers. So, and Ms. Roberts could really speak to this even more specifically if you have questions about the CASA program. It would be an entirely new program for Bay County. But I will tell you, everything I have learned about it, this can only help our treatment and our care of the most marginalized here. So I strongly endorse it, and I encourage you to endorse it as well.
Yes, Commissioner Harris.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to hear about a little bit about this program since it's new to us. You know,
Thank you for listening. With our program, we've been in existence in Saginaw County since 2002, and we have 26 programs around the state. And what our program does is, as these kids come in, the judge refers to cases, workers refer the cases to the CASA program. We look at those cases, put them together, and we assign a CASA volunteer with that court order, which gives us the right to anything that has to do with the best interests of these kids. So if something is happening and we don't feel, as Judge stated, every 90 days reports come in, but this could happen 3 weeks out. We have kids that need to go into counseling. We see these kids weekly. So we can see the kids, we're involved with the foster care workers, with the schools, with any of the counselors and anything. So we bring that information in. It's a faster turnaround in a sense, because we do see them weekly. And therefore, we're going into homes also. So if we see a problem in a foster home or any of that, we can bring it to the court sooner. So right now, we're advocating for 70 children in Saginaw County. We've advocated for over 1,000 kids since 2002 in Saginaw County. Judge Harrison was the one that brought that to Saginaw County. We have a very strong program and has been accredited. It's a national accredited program. So we have to be accredited every 3 years, and we're audited by the court every year. So with our funding sources and our reports and that, they want to make sure that we're seeing these kids weekly.
Okay, Commissioner Tilley.
You said it's volunteers everywhere?
They're volunteers, highly trained volunteers. They have 40 hours they have to put in training, and then have 12 hours a year they have to get for educational purposes. Yes. And we have them from all walks of life. So we have probation officers, for instance, in Saginaw County. What we do is we bring them in on these cases and say, do you know anybody? We want to make sure that the people that are assigned to these cases do not know these families. They don't have any relationship at all. So there's a lot of things in place to make sure that we're going to represent those families and those kids. And with that, too, we're representing the best interests of those children. We bring recommendations, factual information back to the court, to the judges, and recommendations from that factual information. And with that, what that does is gives the judge an idea of what we're seeing, to add to her other reports or his other reports. It's a real important program. We have, Wayne County has the biggest program. I just talked to him today, but we're very well received around the state. In fact, the state just got $75,000 from National to try to build these programs to make them stronger.
Right.
Yeah.
I assume the background checks are done with
We do 3 background checks. And with Suzanne Greenberg is our CEO, and we do a live scan, which we pay for. So that's a national, that's our biggest one. We do 2 before that, but then we do a live scan before they're sworn in. We don't want to put these kids at risk. We don't want somebody going in to these homes and that, and our kids are already at risk.
Thank you.
So, each child will have a caseworker, then they'll also have a CASA worker to work in conjunction with that.
Now, CASA, where a caseworker is assigned to one, how they count is one child's one case.
Okay.
On CASA, if we have 3 children in a family, then the CASA is assigned to all 3 children.
Oh, okay.
So unless we have circumstances, we have 4 kids that are severely needy in Saginaw County, 2 older ones, 2 younger ones, and they're in different homes and that, so we put 2 different CASAs on them because they were that needy. They have a lot of intensive services. So, but a CASA follows that family or assigned to that family.
So then, do you have a pool of people that you pull from to
Yes.
create your CASA workers or
Right
volunteers?
Right now, I have 6 that want to be in Saginaw County, or Bay County. I have 6 trained. They have to be sworn in by Judge Cubillar. And I have right now 8 that want to be trained. So what we had talked about, if everything goes the way we'd like to see, is that we'll train those 8 out here in Bay County, and then be able to start assigning cases.
Okay. Any other, Commissioner Regan?
Just wonder if Genesee County has the program.
And
See if we can work too good down there.
They weren't too good?
Didn't work too good with that one, the one case where the, apparently with, well, the training, I guess it was really the training of the foster parents that they're watching like TV movies or something, like Hollywood movies instead of getting trained.
Oh, we get trained, and the one thing, National CASA, mainly for rural areas, they have a program that they can, it's like a long distance learning. I like our classes to be coming in, we train 2 nights a week from 5:30 to about 9:30, depending how we go. And then it's about a 5-week training period. I want to be hands-on because I want to know who's setting up here, who I'm sending into a home. I don't feel that if I do it that way, I get to know who I'm putting up there with our kids. So ours is hands-on, and they have to complete it. And I do have a right, and in this last group I did. I took somebody aside and said, I just don't think this is a good fit. I have a right, and we have all the paperwork and confidentiality, and that it all goes along with it.
And Randy's a bird dog. I've seen her in action. She was, let me tell you.
We did have a case that came over into Bay County. We had one of our kids end up in juvenile, was placed with an aunt in Bay County, and some stuff happened. So Jan Stoner is the one that had the case in front of her, so she got to see the CASA came out. I came out, the CASA was out, and she got to see how we work with the child in that. So, and I've been in the courtroom too.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we move on to item B, Director on Division on Aging, the continuation of the Elder Abuse Case Management Program.
So moved. Support.
We have a motion and support. Any, Commissioner Coonan?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, this is going to have to come back on an annual basis, this particular program, correct?
This just goes until the end of this particular resolution only goes until the end of this calendar year.
Right.
Okay, unless we get the
Right.
150.
Right.
So if we get the 150, how long does it go for? The following year?
Correct. The extension will go through the end of next fiscal year.
And then,
2016.
and then you'll have to come back to us depending upon the situation that would exist at that time. Now, this here, and I think we all support the elder abuse. Does this include the reorganization, or have we not approved that yet?
I don't believe it does.
No, we have not approved that.
Okay.
This is
No.
the continuation of the elder abuse case management.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Hare, did you have a?
No, those are the questions that I was going to ask, so I appreciate it.
Okay. Anybody else? Would you like to say anything more about it or no?
Well, I can speak volumes about the program. I said listening to them and the child at Spectrum are up here starting to do the same thing with elder abuse. As you know, that's a continuing growing problem in all over the United States, and here in Michigan and in Bay County. And I can speak volumes to what we've done so far. We're receiving numerous calls from providers throughout the state, other agencies, and wanting to model our program. To me, that is speaking volumes of what we're starting to do under the elder abuse spectrum.
I know it's a very valuable program. All of us are well versed that it is doing well within our county, and we all support it avidly. So,
Thank you for that support.
any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we go to item C, which is retirement coordinator, purchase of military time.
So, support.
We have a motion and support. Commissioner Coonan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And maybe, I think this is going to go to the retirement board. We're not going to approve this today, right? Full board. Oh, it doesn't? Okay, but I guess the question I have, I know we eliminated the purchase of governmental time. And, it's military time, obviously, we all want that to be able to purchase. What calculation are we using for this, do we know?
What, for the military time
Yeah.
is the old calculation that was used prior to the resolution that was passed with regard to ceasing the government service purchase
Yeah.
did not include military.
Okay, so we'll
So
use
it's the same analysis and calculation that was used for the old requests to purchase government service time.
All right.
So I believe the only thing that an employee can purchase now is military.
Military.
Under our current.
Right, and it's actually this board that approves that request. It's later received by the retirement board.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Then we have item D, which is the Personnel Director. We have vacancies in the Division on Aging for 3 drivers. The Sheriff Department is CFO full-time, and Juvenile Home Youth Development Workers, 4 of them part-time.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. I don't believe we have any referrals. I don't believe we have any unfinished business. Is there any new business? Any miscellaneous? Any announcements? What?
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. We are so adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen. Turn it over to the chair.
Good afternoon. This is a special meeting of the Bay County Commissioners. It is Tuesday, September 15th, approximately 4:27 in the afternoon. Madam Clerk, if you take roll, please.
Commissioner Durancheck.
Here.
Pigick.
Here.
Coonan.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Tilly.
Here.
Lutz.
Here.
And Krieger.
Yes.
All members present.
Thank you. We'll stand for the invocation and the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we come before you this afternoon thanking you for the guidance and understanding that you have given this Board of Commissioners. Lord, we ask again today for your help and direction so this board may make the fair and proper decisions for all citizens of Bay County. In your holy name we ask this. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, we'll call for public input if there's anybody from the public that wishes to address the board. Seeing none, we'll move right into items of consideration, and we'll go to Commissioner Lutz from Personnel and Human Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item I have today is Resolution 2015-215, which is the 2015-16 Child Care Fund from Fairway Court. I move that resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is Resolution 2015-216, which is the extension of the Elder Abuse Case Management Program through grant and/or millage funds for the Division on Aging. I move that resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Lutz. Moving right along, I don't believe we have any unfinished business. Any new business? With that being said, miscellaneous or announcements? Any need for closed session?
There is not, Mr. Chair.
Very good.
Motion to adjourn is always in order.
Support.
All those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.